Hello! I just finished recording a clip for a different video, but now we're in a vlog, so let's talk about vloggy things. I've started Gods of Jade and Shadow by Silvia Morano Garcia. So this is an author that I've tried a couple of her books and I keep loving her ideas. I read Mexican Gothic and I loved it until the climax, and then it just, I didn't like a lot of things about the way it kind of all concluded, so I kind of left the book feeling middle of the road about it, and then there was another book that I tried that I didn't finish. So, third time's a charm on this one, and I was nervous going into it because I just thought, maybe this just isn't the author for me. But I'm 4 chapters in and I love it. For context, 4 chapters, you don't want to see that. For context, 4 chapters is 50 pages. So, real early on, but I'm real excited. So our main character, this is really wrapped up in a lot of Mexican folklore, and our main character, her grandfather keeps a key around his neck. I literally just, like, earlier this week was talking in a clip for a different video about how much I love magical keys, or keys that lead to magical things in fantasy books. It's like, can't stop winning with what I'm reading lately. Anyway, so he carries a key around his neck, and it's to a certain mysterious chest. And so our main character gets a hold of the key, gets inside the chest, and awakens or releases a death god. Normal stuff. And he sends her off on a quest. Essentially, she has to retrieve certain items / body parts, and or else she dies, or else he sucks the life from her. And it's this magical tie that they now have, so it's not even a threat of like, I'll kill ya. It's like, no, like, there's something that has happened to you and that will not be undone until you complete this task, or else you die. So she really doesn't have a choice, and I love it. So it's all set up. Everything is set up at this point, but I love it. And one thing that I really love about Silvia Morano Garcia's books is her writing. I think that she has a very fairy tale-esque sort of prose that feel like there's magic in the air. And I'm always drawn into her stories in the beginning because I just have an excitement for the tale that she has to tell. So I really, really hope... Neighbor just started mowing. I really hope this one's gonna be a win. Welcome to the vlog. Jade and Shadow. I think easily the best thing about this book is the lore. So this is based around Mayan lore. Our main character, Cassiopeia, is a young girl who lives with her family, but she's kind of considered less than. They're sort of the rejects and in the family, and she wants to run away. She wants to escape. She wants to go explore the wide world, and she doesn't know how she's going to do it, but she's saving up money. She's trying to make it happen. And when she gets a hold of the key to her grandfather's chest and opens it and awakens the death god, or the god of death, this is her way out. Not really. I worded that poorly. It's not that this is her way out, it's that this is the way that it's gonna be. Like, she doesn't have a choice. She's forced into this quest that she has to go on, where she has to collect things for this god of death so that he can continue to survive, but if she doesn't succeed, then she dies. So, because he's basically sucking the life force out of her to exist at the moment. So, between the places that we go, the places that we visit, the kind of beings that we encounter, it's all seeped in this beautiful lore that is described very visually, and it was so fun to be able to encounter these different places and beings and people. And I loved all of that, and that's definitely what carried the book through for me. But as far as plot, it really was just like your standard fantasy kind of story that I felt very, very familiar to me, down to the obligatory romance that kind of stepped onto center stage in the latter bit of the book, which just isn't my thing. It just leans on a lot of tropes that I consistently don't like. It's not me. It's not mine. So Cassiopeia was a pretty interesting lead. The God of Death, I didn't care about that much, but I'm not, the whole like God's living among us and the God of Death who has this sort of ransom over your life and like that kind of thing that I know a lot of people love. I was interested in it because I was so interested in the setting, and I was happy to see where it took us, but it took us kind of where you would expect it to take us, so it's just not my thing. So yeah, this was a book that was kind of like not love. I enjoyed the setting, and I enjoyed being able to, I'm glad we moved so much because I liked being able to see so many different pieces of this setting. But other than that, I didn't have strong feelings about the direction that the story went or how it all resolved or ended up. This is an adult fantasy, but I think it follows a formula as far as plot goes. It follows a formula that is very reminiscent, or I would say very common within the YA fantasy genre. So if you are a YA reader, I think that probably you will enjoy this. And I think this is just how I am with this author, where I love her ideas and I love her writing. I love her writing so much. She really immerses me in a feeling, in a setting. Like Mexican Gothic had those Gothic vibes down so well that I love so much. And this had that lore dense, soft magic, mythical land feel vibe that I thrive on. She is such a talented setting and atmosphere writer, and so I'm always drawn into her books, but I'm always left kind of feeling about the story itself. So this is my third book that I've tried by her, so I feel like that's a consistent enough pattern that I can say anytime I want to get lost in a setting, I can pick her up, but I'm probably always going to kind of land at like, good, not great. For me, for my preferences and my taste. I've also read the next 2 volumes of Yona, and the plot is continuing to thicken. New characters being added constantly. I could do with less new characters. I feel like the core cast of this series is so strong. I don't need to constantly be adding new characters, but for what the plot is doing, I understand why it is, I understand why it's important. I'm just so invested in the characters of this story that honestly I don't care about the plot, which, I mean, whatever, that's just how it is. But I am very interested in what we're about to go do. So Yona is on her way. I'm not spoiler free, don't worry. Yona is on her way to confront a certain person, and it's gonna be interesting to see how it goes. That's what I'll say. And I'll also say, it's not official, okay? I'll take it back. I will take it back if I need to. But as of right now, y'all win. I like Hawk. I did not like him at first, and it wasn't just it takes a while to warm up to this character. It was I didn't like him. I actively disliked him at the beginning of the series, but he has changed. He has grown, and I do like him now. He just better stay good. That's all I'm saying. He better stay good. Also, Zeno is the best boy, and I just want him to be happy. Finished part 2, book 2 of Midnight Tides, and it's a lot to try to discuss spoiler free. I don't know, the histories that are kind of coming together, and we're seeing the origins of things, and we're getting very big reveals, like pieces coming together as they always do in these books, as well as more setup. And I'm confused, but I'm also putting stuff together and understanding things more and more the further I get in. So all of that I can't really talk about spoiler free, but just a lot of things that are being revealed through conversations. The intricacies of this world and all those things are all great for me. I enjoy that stuff, but always what I read these stories for are the characters, the character relationships, the emotions that Erikson takes me through, and just his writing in general is very impressive to me. So, speaking more on the character side of things, Troll Singar, I may not be saying his name right, there was a battle, keeping it spoiler free, there was a battle that he went through in the storm that just went on and on and on. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about. Was incredibly written, was so emotional. I felt like I was in the midst of this battle with him, and the despair and hopelessness that was kind of surrounding this scene and the never-ending nature of it was, Erikson can draw me into these. I'm not an action or a fight scene reader. Like, I'll read those and I'll enjoy a well-written one, but very rarely do I read an action scene and I'm in the middle of it, and I feel everything in the throes of something like this. But Erikson can do it, and he does so much emotionally with scenes like this, and this one just hit. Whew, it landed. Tehal and Bryce, maybe? These two characters, their duo, their relationship between the two of them, oh, excellent. Love reading these two and any scene of the two of them together. So fun. There's also some questionable things happening, as always, in a Malazan book, but in this book specifically, some things that I'm not entirely sure how I feel about yet. I'm not sure about. I just don't know. I need a little bit more information before I can decide some questionable things, some things where the line of if something acceptable is happening or not, that line isn't very clear to me yet. So I'm still holding out judgment. But you know, these different groups of people, they have different ideals and different perspectives on what's acceptable and different cultural acceptances, and so all that obviously has to be taken into account, but just things that I'm not sure how I feel about yet. But yeah, I'm having a great time. Part 2 was excellent. I laughed a lot in this section. Erikson's humor is just, he does such a good job of weaving humor into despair and amazing relationships and confusing but exciting world building and all the things. He does all the things. So I'm having a great time. That's part 2. I'm having a great time. And I guess that's all. I'm gonna read my Vagabond section tonight so that I can do my next discussion with Philip. Still loving Vagabond. So this week I read more Yona, always. I read Gods of Jade and Shadow, and I read another section of Midnight Tides. Oh, and I also finished the Magician's trilogy, which I'm not talking about in this vlog, because I'm trying to maybe do a themed vlog and put it over on the main channel every now and then, just to kind of, I really like vlogs and I'd like to be able to push a few of them onto the main channel every now and then. I think it could be fun. I hope you'll watch it. It's spoiler free, and that's a series that got some mixed reactions out of me. So that'll be up tomorrow, and then on Tuesday of next week on the second channel will be a Magician's spoiler chat. Lots of Magician's content lately. That series has taken over a lot of my time and thought processes. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed what you've read this week as well. I post videos every Monday and Friday on the main channel, Tuesdays and Thursdays on this channel. I'll see you again soon. Bye.